everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. Slight delay with the start time, so I'm really happy that you could still find the time to make it. Welcome to another week of Connect and Chill. I'm your host, Elle. If we haven't already met, whether you're joining us live, catching the replay, sitting in the listener lounge, speaking, or in Audacity, in the metaverse, watching this stream, your presence is truly appreciated. Today, we're diving into a fun topic, and it's cool. It's just a small, intimate room right now, but I wanted to kind of talk about friendships, both IRL and cyber friendships, because it seems like, a lot of us spend a lot of time on here, and I know we have made some really genuine friendships. So I'm really interested to know if people are still even making IRL friendships and how that even works. Like, is that a thing? Is it sustainable? Anyway, that's what we're going to get into. But before we get into that, as always, I'd like to mention that mental health is highly respected here. This is a safe space. So please remember to think of not only what you're saying, but how you're saying it when you request the mic. And if you cannot speak, you can always drop a comment below, but it feels kind of silly saying it at the moment since both of you are regulars. But if anything, I'll repeat that whole mental health bit if more people join in, because that is really important. So anyway, before we get into all of this juicy goodness, Ben, I'm glad you made it. How are you? Happy Saturday. It's a heat wave in New York. How is it over there?
Yeah, happy to be here, Liz. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it's gonna be a heat wave here too. It's not gonna be nearly as bad. I think the highest will be like 93. Um, and surprisingly, I say that's the highest because it's not as bad for us in the long grand scheme of things. So I pray for everyone who's going through this. Right, stay
At
hydrated, stay
large.
indoors as much as possible. And yeah, Liz, I promised you we would do this time around. I forgot to do this in your last space. So here we go. This is partly inspired by Keenan and Kel, where Kel loves his orange soda. So here we go. Who loves to connect and chill? We all love to connect and chill. Is that true? We do, we do, we do, we do, we do. Ew. And I will hand this back to you, Liz.
Well, I love how you just kept doing your thing, even though that troll was talking. You were like, I am unfazed. I don't even hear them. But yes, I know you didn't do that in the Chi-Fi space. You were too busy distracting everyone with In and Out. I think like four people after that space legit went and got In and Out because of the picture that you sent. Like, no, like Colette really bought Empress a gift card to In and Out. I'm like, wow, this is the power of Ben bringing up food. It's either like Benji's buying Wingstop, someone's eating In and Out. I'm dreaming about In and Out. That's usually how it goes. So I'm going to send this out to a few people because I know I pushed the space back and oh, there it is. Oh no, the magical burger. That changes things when you push it back. Plus, it's summer. It's such a nice day. I hope everyone's in the pool and drinking margaritas. But let's see who we can get in here. Get some more friends. But this week, there have actually been a few different spaces kind of surrounding friendship and genuine relationships. That's what inspired me to want to talk about this because I was in some of those spaces and they took a really negative turn, most of them, unfortunately. And, I understand we've all had some negative experiences, of course, in life with friendships and online, but I really didn't want to focus on that. I'd rather focus on all of the positive that I've gotten out of my online relationships. One, of course, being like my friendship with you, Benjamin, and there are a few other people that have just been really just total rock stars for me that I enjoy hanging out with. Like yesterday, we were playing Among Us, and like stuff like that. I think is so awesome to I love that I can just be home, be entertained, be safe. Have a few beverages if I choose to, and like I'm having fun. So I kind of wanted to focus on the good side. Of course, if anyone wants to share the other side, I will listen. But I don't want, like yesterday, I was hearing 20-minute rants about the negativity of online friendships. I'm like, there's no point in that for me. So what do you think, Ben? You've made a lot of different friendships on here, I think, from people all over, right? What do you attribute that to?
Liz, that's a great question to ask. I think it comes down to just being authentic and genuine to me. Um, and that's kind of how I chose to live. It's every day, but it's IRL and it's X. And so, um, let me also phrase this in terms of it's social media in general, right? I think the way you do it is when you make friends, you have to be true to yourself, right? And you have to tell people who you are. What you do also have to be. You have to keep kind of like uh, uh, you do have to have boundaries for yourself, right? So, you have to let people know what you're about, and I think that's what's worked for us, right? James, who just joined us in the space, right? I've known James for a while, and James and I are very similar in terms of how we choose to utilize this platform, right? Like James's platform is a lot similar to mine. We talk a lot about kindness, we talk a lot about positivity, and I think that's what we need, and I think that's what's worked. I think Liz, right? You and I kind of got we kind of came into contact with each other's spaces, and that's how our friendship was formed. Basically, us kind of getting to know each other more on a personal level. We've had a lot of conversations. um we joke around here and there, right? We have fun, and I think that's what's worked, and I that's what I would contribute a lot of to friendship is you have to step out of your bound or step out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to make friends, you have to be willing to introduce yourself, you have to uh basically you have to sometimes you have to take the initiative, right? So some people are more reserved, and you have to find what works for everybody. um the thing Liz and I, for example, right, and this is why we get along so well, is we talk highly of In and Out, and that's what I'm trying to get Liz. As soon as Liz flies into LAX or Southern California in general, In and Out is going to be the first stop. And I told you, Liz, there's an In and Out right near the airport that you can see planes fly over, and I think that'd be super cool for you. So, In and Out is a proud sponsor of this space. Once again, In and Out Burgers is a proud sponsor of this space. This space will not be sponsored by Wingstop just because I've tried to reach out to them a billion times and they have yet to respond back. So until we get a response from Wingstop, we will hold off on their sponsorships until further notice. But I see we have James's hands, and I don't want him to wait any longer. So go ahead, James.
What's up, Liz, Ben? Hope you guys are doing well. Um, I mean, to answer the question up top, I guess yeah, online friends can be legit if you find like the right ones. Um, like Ben, me and you, like you said, I think I'm one of the first people that I've ran into on here, and I don't know what space it was. It was one of your like life story spaces that kind of got to know you a lot better. So, and then Amber's obviously her comedy space over the weekend. Um, and I met her a couple weeks ago, and yeah, online friends does happen. Um, I think ever since COVID, like um, online friends are more and more like popular now. Um, and well, that doesn't mean that IRL friends doesn't happen anymore. It still does, but I think X is so strong that you're literally talking to people 24/7 here, whether that's on the platform or just space audio, and you even have video audio now, so you can make friends anywhere. But I think X just helps the online part be so much easier. That's kind of my opinion on it. You know?
Real quick before I hand this back to you, Liz, I think you're right, James. I think with X, it's a lot easier because you have a platform, you have spaces, right? And it's the audio version that makes it a lot easier for people to connect, and that's how friendships can be made, social media wise. And I think that's why it's more popular in terms of people wanting to get together and wanting to connect. Liz, it's through you that I found the gaming community. It's through you that I found GFi. And so, like, I think this is why it's such a great platform and such great a great usage in terms of being able to make friends, being able to connect with others. And I think that's why I'm a huge fan of it. But I will also be honest with you, Liz and James, right, and everyone in the space. Spending a lot of time on social media can also be detrimental to your health too. If you're spending all your time on it, and I said this in one of the posts a few weeks ago. I was spending about 17 hours every single day, and it got really draining for me. And so I had to take a huge step back. I had to change how I utilize the platform because I could not continue to do this every single day because it got into way of IRL as well, right? So you have to find a fine balance, but I will still say like this is still the best platform. This is how I got to meet you all, and one day. And James, I apologize. A few weeks ago, I had some stuff coming up, so I could not make it to Boston. So I will let you know next time for sure. I just could not make the same trip just because things happened, and needing to start a new career really got it really affected kind of the expenses that I was able to afford. So I will let you know the next time I'm in Boston and I couldn't make it to Brady's Hall of Fame induction. So I'm glad you and Amber had fun. I'm glad you guys got to meet IRL. So I'm happy for you guys. So with that being said, I know we have some new speakers here, but I do want to hand this back to you, Liz.
Thank you, thank you. I think James made a great point, and welcome. Nice to have you here in Connect and Chill. This is a really fun discussion. I also shared up what Nez wrote down in the comments because he's not able to speak at the moment. So he said whether it's online or offline, if I call anyone friend, I mean it. If I call you fam, I mean it. And it's funny because that's another point I was going to bring up. You know, online, especially in Web3, everyone says, hey fam, hey friend. Like that's thrown around all of the time, 24/7. And maybe for some people it does have meaning, but for a lot of people it's just like saying hello, right? It's just another greeting that we can say to everyone even if we don't know them from a hole in the wall. So I think that has taken away as well from the meaning of fam and friend, but we can get into that a bit later. I'd rather go to the new speaker, Intricate. I'm so happy to see you. Happy Saturday. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? As soon as I jumped into your space, I accidentally hit the join and I just jumped in. So sorry, but I guess it was meant. Um, Today's a good day. It's a blessed day out here in California, where the sunshine is always gleaming on my face. Nice 80-degree weather. Living my best life. Ben, what's going on? James, what up? Nance, what's up? Hey, I hope everything is going good with you. I just seen your post. And I'm kind of lukewarm with it. The best way I try to it's interesting. I have to think about it. I'm trying to think. Online friends, legit. I have bucket lists. I have a couple bucket lists. So one bucket is, casual, and then the other bucket is really sincere. And that's how I try to judge it, based off of, people online, how they communicate. Like if they come in and check in with me, hit me in the DMs or hit me on my via text, then I really consider those friends. But those who, just give me a like here and there, I don't really consider those friends. I prefer to just call them acquaintances, but people confuse a lot of people when they use the fam and friend, all that type of stuff. It just causes a lot of confusion. But it's just like another form of slang, so I don't really take it to heart. But some people do. But what I would do is I would just base it off of the communication that you guys have on a weekly basis. Like if they really consider me as a fan or friend or fam and all that other crap, I would, do a checkup every 3-4 weeks and see like, okay, are we really friends? Are we communicating at least every other day or once a week? Something. There got to be some type of form of casual communication. If there's nothing going on where there's just like once every 2-3 months, then I wouldn't even consider that a friend at all or anything. I would just consider that as an acquaintance and wouldn't even trip about it.
Yeah, I feel that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Just be realistic with what the friendship is. And yeah, if we're not checking in on each other about IRL stuff and it's just kind of surface level, then it is what it is. But, the reason I mentioned earlier for, this line of questioning and this idea of a topic is because we spend so much time on here, or at least some of us do. And so it's very easy to be in these spaces and to be hanging out. And, like James said, now there's video spaces. So you really feel like you're hanging out with the people and you can just let the time go by. It doesn't require you leaving your house. You have everything, all your creature comforts. You can order food, do whatever you want. And I saw a post recently. I think it was Fibonacci. I know a lot of people know him. He posted it and he was just like, yeah, it's a Friday night. I'm going to club spaces. Like I got some drinks. I'm staying home and this is my social life now. And that started making me think like, how many people are just not bothering to make new IRL friends? So do you guys make new friends or do you guys kind of just have your ride or dies from your youth? Whoever wants to answer, I'd love to hear.
I guess I can kind of start off. So here's the thing. I do have some friends that I've known for since I was younger, right? So middle school, high school, yes, I do have a few, but I am also open to making new friends too, because I think that's the whole point. I think it's not just like I said, Liz, it's taking initiative to want to make friends, but also keeping the same core intact as well. Um, and I think that's kind of where I kind of stand. I also did post a image of a In and Out with an Emirates airplane that's like, I don't know, probably not very high off the In and Out. So, Liz, I don't know how I feel about skydiving because, to be honest, based off of the height of that plane and the In and Out, you skydive, I don't know if you're gonna make it. And so I think it's rather safer to wait for the aircraft to land at LAX and then just Uber off to In-N-Out than trying to skydive. I say that because I went skydiving once, off air or off, doing a different activity. And I will be honest with you, friend, don't skydive. This is actual advice I'm giving you. This is the one advice I would highly recommend you listen to, compared to the million advice that I give on here. If you can choose not to skydive, your life is way more valuable. I did that as a bet, and I will never do it again, no matter how much I get paid for it. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
See, I don't know. Skydiving is on my list of things to do. I mean, you're here with us, right? You know the question, but did you die? No. You're good. So if everyone looks at that picture, I commented and I said I will just wear a parachute and jump out, because dealing with LAX, the traffic, California, you guys have like 20-lane highways. I'm not about that life. Just drop me off right in and out, and I skip it all. Ben, if you want to go grab my bags, I would appreciate it. Maybe we can get them delivered. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just parachute with the bags. I don't know. We can figure out the logistics, but I think you and I would make it work. But go ahead, James.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever skydive. I'm not sure about that. It's possible if I have a professional with me in the back, like parachuting with me together. That's the only way I think I'll do it. Even then, that's scary. Uh, Ben, Ben, have you ever skydived or no? You have not.
I did once, James, and I did it with an instructor. So it's not like I did it alone. I took a class and I went with an instructor. So that's kind of how I did it. I did not do the version of Drake and Josh where they went into a helicopter. I did not do that. I will never do that alone, and I won't skydive again under any circumstance. So I would just kind of land this Airbus A380 there, James. Again, I will reiterate for everyone in this space: I will not skydive, no matter how much you try to bribe me. That's not happening. Liz, why the thumbs down? I thought we're good friends here. I've sided with you on In-N-Out. I've sided with you on all of this, and now I'm getting thumbs down because I don't want to skydive again, and because I want to live to be able to go to the water park tomorrow. Come on, friend. Come on.
Ooh, you're going to a water park tomorrow. Stop. That's amazing. It's perfect weather for it. Oh my gosh, I know. That's the thing, right? When it's the winter, we just keep talking about the snow and the cold here in New York. And then when it's hot, we're still not happy. We're like, oh, I'm so hot. I don't know. In New York, we're never happy with the weather, but it is a little too hot. So I hope you guys are staying hydrated, right? Let's do a hydration check. Make sure you have some water, please. Added points if you have some lemon in there, as always. Take care of yourselves. But we do have another speaker, our good friend Creative. What's going on?
Yo, what's going on? So,
There's that loser.
oh, look. This is supposed to be talking about like real friendships and real life, or digital friends, and then
Screw
here
the
comes,
friends, man. Screw the friends. I'm
and here,
chilling with L right now. You know what I'm saying?
and
Out here
here,
on the West
and here
Coast.
comes this hater, man. My number one hater in life, man. Been hating on me since diapers. Golly. Anyway, no, some real stuff. Like I know a way that I could get Ben and James to do skydiving, and that's indoor skydiving. Very safe, very fun. Love it. Indoor skydiving is the way to go. I don't know about jumping out of a perfectly good plane or helicopter. Even though some time in my career they was going to try to have me do that with the military and stuff. Thank God I didn't have to, but orders would have been orders. But yeah, when it comes to the real life friends and stuff like that, yeah, I still make real life friends. I think now though, like the conversation we kind of had yesterday, is that people nowadays have a hard time meeting people in real life, and they feel more comfortable meeting people more digitally and then making friends that way. Just because the way the world is going right now, people have a hard time interacting in person. It's almost like taboo if you go up to a person, say, "Hey, how you doing, man?" Blah blah, and engage in conversation. Me, I'm a talkative person. I like to engage with people in real life, so I'm old school. But a lot of the new school stuff you see, more people they prefer that you talk to them digitally first and then become friends that way. So,
Yeah, I want to say LeBron over Kobe. Uh,
hey man, we ain't having none of that Kobe stuff. Get that LeBron stuff out of here, man.
hey, my dad jumped out the plane. Do you remember that? Or do you know that?
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, my dad is a psychopath. I would never do anything like that. He did that for his 50th birthday. My dad
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
Uncle's a G for that one.
Yeah, I thought he was lying until he sent me the pictures. But the friend thing also, like I get, the whole entire digital thing, digital space, growing friends that way. I think it's very important to build relationships and friendships. I think that's what we're all here for, as humans. we're not made to be. We're not solo creatures. We are built to be in a community, a tribe. That's what we're made to do. And I feel like anytime you operate outside of that, I think you're hurting yourself on the back end because there's so many different things in life that a friendship can help you with because you can't do things on your own. Um, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but just be on the phone, checking up on a person, on their mental, like all those different attributes and things like that helps out and it builds relationships with friends. I think it gets really dangerous when when you try to grow it's just in my opinion, when you try to grow relationships just pure on digital space without any, physical or, at least some cell phone conversations, I think it can be kind of deceiving in my opinion, because I don't really think you really know who that person really is. Like you have to be, you have to see how that person is, check his temperature under different elements. You know what I'm saying? I think digital can be very deceiving. That is just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think using these social media feeds is a great way to build relationships and friends and stuff. But I think when you build those relationships, it's good to try to cross them over to build some form of physical relationship, whether like I said via phone, and also checking in and seeing each other physically. I think there's more impact when you actually see each other physically and do things with one another because in my opinion, if you don't do those type of things, it's really kind of hard to really gauge to see if they're really your friends or not. And I think a lot of people tend to go left when they just go all in on digital friends, and they start calling people fake and all this other stuff. And I say, well, I don't think it was fake. It was just your bad. You dropped the bag because you didn't really do your due diligence to build that relationship outside of that digital space.
Whew, see, intricate. A lot of times you're quiet, but when you do talk, I always feel like you're talking to my soul. That was
Man,
perfect.
don't blow
I
his head
totally
up.
agree.
Don't blow his head up. Golly, man. He already got a big head already. Gosh dang.
You a hater. Hey, you lead all the spaces anyways, man. Can I talk just for a second? You got what? You lead both the spaces. Like I can't speak for a little bit. You the hater.
A perfect example of a friendship that's clearly been going on for a minute, right? This is not new. They didn't just meet last week in Tough Talk Tuesday. This has been happening with a lot of history. But I do agree. I think that you kind of have to blur the lines if it's a real friendship and try and meet in person, or like you said, I guess talk on the phone is a good start. But I realize that can still be misleading. Like you can hang out with someone, and play video games or whatever it is, but still all like the online aspect, and you're missing parts of who they might really be. So you have to like protect yourself and not maybe take it too seriously. But I don't know. Have you guys met people from Twitter or X in real life yet? Or is that something that you want to do? What do you think, Ben? Have you? I feel like you have.
Actually, oh, go ahead, Ben. Oh,
Yes.
go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I did. I met Stephanie back in February, I believe. So Stephanie's the first person I met IRL. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting more people from XIRL. Uh, for example, Creative, right? Creative, you're, I believe, NorCal, so you're not too far from me. So someday we got to meet up. The same way, Intricate, we got to meet up. Intricate, you and I have to talk about this because I'm with Creative on this. It's Kobe over LeBron. It's not even close. Sorry, Liz, I didn't really want to make this a basketball space, but Intricate's kind of getting me fired up. No more of the Kobe slanders, okay? Kobe better than LeBron. We all know it. Liz knows it. Intricate knows it. Creative knows it. Benji knows it. Although Benji, we did not do Wingstop this week, so I think that's a huge plus. So maybe Wingstop next week. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And then Liz, we definitely got to do an IRL meetup for sure. Maybe do indoor skydiving. We got to do a water park at some point. I did send you something in a DM. I don't know if we'll do that, but for that price, probably not. But I will let you make final decisions on that matter.
I'm already thinking of what it is. I'm about to go look, but I can just imagine it's probably some huge goblet from a certain place that we won't mention with a drink full of way too many calories. I am really excited though. There's so many cool people, I think, in the West Coast. Like, I mean, look at this room. I think half of it is actually West Coast peeps. So I'm really, really excited to go to California and hang out with you guys. And definitely, of course, like you said, in and out. I've never thought of indoor skydiving, but I'll definitely do it. That sounds awesome. And then if more people would do it, then that's a good alternative. Are there like locations? Like, I know Sky Zone, but I think that's just a jumping place. Like, and how high is it? I don't know. We have
So
to do some
it's like
research.
a little wind tunnel kind of thing. And it's not that high. It's probably about maybe like 30 feet or so. But they get you in there with an instructor and stuff, and you have on a little fly suit, whatever, and then they kind of instruct you how to like position your body and stuff, and they get so pretty much it just is like this huge fan beneath you, and it blows up, and then they kind of like guide you around a little bit, and kind of let you do your own little thing, and make sure that you don't hit the sides because it's like a little tunnel.
Okay, got you. So it's like the pregame for the real thing. So we can practice at the indoor skydiving, and then towards the end of my trip, we'll go somewhere awesome in California and try it out. Right? James left. He was so serious about not skydiving, he left the space. He's like, I'm done here. No, thanks. I'm not getting tied into any of this, any of these shenanigans. You guys already know that's what the space is all about. Lots of shenanigans and being ourselves. So for anyone in the listening lounge, you're more than welcome to drop a comment if you can't come up and speak, or if you would like to request the mic, that's awesome. Just talking about, IRL friends versus online friends, and what do we think about those relationships. I definitely value my online friendships, and I spend a lot of time here, so I'm glad to kind of have certain people that I feel are like the real ones, and then there's a lot of other people that I deal with, but I don't know, I think you can kind of tell at least some people that are more genuine than others. Not to say that you can't make a mistake, but I don't know. Then the other thing I was kind of thinking about is, do you think that these online friendships are hindering people's social skills? Like Creative and I were talking about this yesterday, like going out, going to a bar, being social with random people. For a lot of people, that might be overwhelming, or they're not interested. They're like, nope, I don't want to branch out. And like for me, I love those connections. Like right away, I think of football Sunday. Like I want to be at a bar yelling at the TV, talking about the Bills, meeting random people. If you're wearing a jersey that I like, I'm going to go over, like, yo, let's talk about Josh Allen, what's happening. So I love that real side of it. But, people just staying on their computer, do you think they're going to do that? Or are they going to hide, or maybe just not go out all season? Like, what about you guys? Do you feel that it's hurt your social skills?
Personally, I don't, just because I separate IRL and X. So, Liz, I kind of mentioned earlier, not trying to spend all my time on social media, and actually do having a life, and meeting friends. And, you talk about going to a bar. Okay, so let me put it this way. I have a friend, right? He's a Celtics fan. Ironically, he and I went to high school. He's always been a Celtics fan. He grew up rooting for Bill and Paul Pierce and Larry Bird. Okay, so he and I can kind of get into it. We're good friends, but we don't root for the same team, right? So, um, we kind of banter back and forth. And we went to a bar. Listen, it's going to be so funny when I tell you this. So it was last year. It was the Eastern Conference Finals between Miami and it was Boston. It was Game 7. So Miami basically had a 3-0 lead. Uh, they pushed it all the way to 7 games. So we're sitting there, we're watching the game. I'm praying that Miami pulled this out and I don't have to worry about them getting banner 18 soon. Okay, now, um, I got my prayers, I got my answers wished. They didn't win it that year. That they lost to Miami, and I was kind of nudging at my friend. I was like, "See, this is why you need to root for the Lakers." Come to find out, a year later, it would come bite me in the touche, as Boston does get banner 18. And he came back at me. We went to another bar. We watched them clinch it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Liz. This time around, it hurt more just because he's like, see, this is what you get for last year. This is what you get for torturing me all last season for us not getting it. So for us to finally get it, he let me have it. And keep in mind, this dude is a Celtics fan, born and raised here in Southern California, who should have been a Lakers fan. So I don't know how he managed to root for a team from Boston. So, I'll let it slide. But listen, in all seriousness, yes, it's nice to be able to make friends IRL. It's nice to be able to kind of differentiate the difference between social media and your buddies from IRL, because the thing that I'll always tell people in the space is you do need to have boundaries, right? So you can't just be on social media all the time, because you have to be able to go out, you have to be able to socialize. And sometimes I feel like just being on social media doesn't give you that ability. So you do have to be able to go out there, meet new people, make friends. And if you're at a bar wearing jerseys, that's one of the best ways to make new friends. You might make some um I don't want to say enemies, depending on the jerseys you wear, but you might meet someone that gets on you, right? So that's why I'm very careful with the jerseys I wear. Liz and I would get along so well because Liz is a Bills fan, I'm a Rams fan, so we don't have, there's no animosity there. So we get along just fine, right? And I actually root for the Bills, if they do make it to the Super Bowl, and I hope they do, because Bills fans need to experience it the same way I got to experience mine a few years ago. So Liz, let's go Bills, right? You got to win it at some point. Josh Allen needs to get over the hump. Now that Tom Brady's retired, there's no more excuses. The only difference is now you have to worry about Mahomes, and hopefully Mahomes takes his behind to the Rams, so that you do get a better opportunity to actually win it in the AFC and win the Super Bowl. So that's kind of where we'll root for you there, right?
I love it. I love it. I love the positivity. I also love that the iFly Space Creative just shared. Oh my God, there's one in Queens, like not far from me at all. I have no reason not to do this. This is cool. This is really like a fun intro. I'm going to plan an outing. 100%. Thank you for sharing that. I love it. And, it's funny you mentioned Mahomes. Not that I have much to say. Skill, but the other day I was at Chili's and I swear, I don't know, all of the Long Island high school boys must have been there and every single one of them had a Mahomes haircut. Like every kid. It was just the whole place was loaded with them. And I'm like, damn, Patrick Mahomes is here. It didn't matter. Every skin color, anyone with hair had a Patrick Mahomes cut. There was a waiter with the Patrick Mahomes cut. I'm like, man, New Yorkers. And it was shocking to me. I remember our last game of the season. Not that I really want to talk about it, but I'm amongst some friends, so I'll be honest. As depressing as it was, I couldn't believe I was at this bar in the Bronx and so many people had on KC jerseys. And I was there, Buffalo Bills head to toe, like, let's go. And there were so many people. I mean, Casey's really got a hold on people, even with his tantrums, right? Even with him throwing things on the sidelines, his wife, who she's a hot mess, his brother, he's a hot mess. But I mean, I guess talent is talent. I don't know.
Liz, you see a lot of that here too. You would think it's be a lot of Niners country here, which it's true to a certain extent. But Chiefs definitely, I've seen more and more of them, and it's gotten to a point where I don't think I have nothing against Mahomes. I actually like the guy as a talent, but I don't know if I can keep pulling for him in the Super Bowl just because there's way too many Chiefs country here too. So let's go Bills. You got to do it at this point. You're the only team in the AFC that I genuinely care to see the win because I'm tired of the Chiefs. I'm tired of the Pats. I'm tired of everybody else. So you guys gotta win. If you can win multiples and rub it in Chiefs country and Andy Reid, thank you. Please do it. Just don't do it against the Rams. That's the only caveat here. Don't do it against the Rams, but feel free to do it against the Niners all you want. I'd be happy to see it.
There you go. I don't disagree with you. And Idri, I see you're up here. If you want to join in the conversation, I know you were a little busy, but I'd love to hear your perspective as one of my best online friends. If you have any particular viewpoints, just let me know or on mic, and we'll hand the mic over to you. So another thing that I think is really important that I've noticed is, how age plays into this. So those that are older and grew up in a time where there wasn't so much social media, I feel like they're less phased by these online friendships because they're used to doing it like the OG way, like beepers and phone booths. You know what I'm saying? Like just the basics and like building real friendships. Like I wasn't really a beeper, but like AIM is the best that I had. So I think for me as well, it's a little different than kids growing up now that are just going to be 100% with all of the technology and have everything. I think they're more likely to get hurt by these friendships because this is what they know. So they'll build an entire world on here. And when we talk about the metaverse and VR, you could do so much. It's really insane. And people can just build, you can, pretend you can play games and feel like you're right there with the person. So they're really investing so much into these online friendships. And that I think is kind of worrisome. I guess that's a parent's job. Just let's add more work to the parents. But I think it's important for parents to regulate that. I know everything now is the iPad and the iPad, which I can't judge because I don't know, you got to do what you got to do. But we used to just color, right, at Denny's or wherever we were at IHOP. And that was good enough. Didn't need to be watching or playing Roblox. And so that's what I was thinking. For those of you that might have kids, if you don't mind sharing, it's an interesting perspective to hear what you're dealing with or how you see it kind of unfolding. If you don't mind, love to hear it.
No, you're 100%.
Creator, are you gonna
Yeah,
go?
I'm going right
Okay,
now.
go ahead.
So, um,
Go ahead. Loser.
see, God, dang, he can't skip a time to hate. Anyway, now when it comes to kids and stuff like that nowadays, yeah, there's a lot. I think the technology and stuff really as much as it seems like it's easier to connect with people because you can connect with people all over the world. It actually makes them more disconnected because they get so consumed if you're not monitoring the screen time, right? And then they'll have times like I noticed it with some of the kids in high school and stuff. A lot of them are really introverted because they've been on games, they've been on a computer and stuff like that. So when they see people in real life, it spooks them. They don't really know how to interact. They get quiet and they get really reclusive. So when me and say Intricate was coming up, we had to play outside. We couldn't be inside the house. You know, you was forced to go outside and play with the neighborhood kids and interact. And you had to play sports or you had to do some kind of extracurricular activities because maybe your parents didn't get home until after work or whatever, and both your parents worked. So if you did extracurricular activities, you wouldn't get home until they pick you up after they get off of work and things of that nature. So you had to interact with people. I didn't get a cell phone until what, freshman, sophomore year of college. So we had to carry change around and use pay phones and stuff like that. If you want to talk over the phone, we had like two-way pages was probably like the hottest thing in high school, where like you could kind of text each other here and there, but it was just black text on the green screen. So I think for us in our generation, we were kind of like the last generation, maybe the '90s babies, where you interacted with people in person a lot more than you did digitally. Now, since everything is digital, you really have to be mindful because everything that think about technology, how it works. They brought out the smartphone. Smartphone actually makes people dumber, and then you bring out technology, and it makes people more say that it's supposed to make people more connected, but we're more disconnected because we don't really know how to really commune together and interact together in a real life situation. So, for people in the '90s, maybe, and then previous to that, say electronics and the internet and everything goes down, they wouldn't be so bothered. But these kids that were born in the 2000s, things like that, they'll lose their mind because all they know, their life is so wrapped around technology in this digital age. I'll say this last little thing, and then I'll go ahead and close the loop or land my plane or stop my go kart or whatever people say nowadays. Um, when I went into the military, the one thing that I learned is that the first day they pick you up for boot camp, they take your cell phone and they put it in this big old black box. And I expected the women to cry about their phones. I didn't expect for the boys and the men to cry about their phones. So when they put their phones in this black box, they lock it away. You don't get to see that phone until you're done with boot camp. And they were losing their mind. They didn't know how to write letters. They didn't know how to put the stamp on the envelope or nothing like that. They didn't know how to read cursive. Cursive is a dead language. So it really showed the impact that technology has on the more recent generations, right? So I think it's really, really important that when you have kids in this digital age, or even yourself, to not get so caught up and so dependent on technology when it comes to making connections with another human being, but actually go out, engage in community events and things of that nature, and so you don't become more reclusive and more introverted, that you can still be extroverted and open to new experiences and new adventures outside in public.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for sharing. That's kind of what I had in mind, what I figured, but you can't beat someone's firsthand knowledge and what they're experiencing as a parent raising a child right now. But yeah, that is interesting. And the military situation too, right? Drop your phone in a box. Imagine now how many people could do that. I don't know. I think that might just make people drop out of boot camp right off the bat. Like, nope, I don't think I can do this. That is difficult. So I know, Intricate, you were going to say something as well. I'd love to hear your perspective, right? You have two girls.
Yeah, I have two girls, so it's very interesting because, like what Creative said, 80 weekends when it comes to like when we were actually able to see the transition of technology taking over. Like we had the smartphone, I mean not the smartphones, we had the beepers, the two ways. Hell, there was been plenty of times when me and Creative was out, we had to use a payphone. We had to make sure we had change and stuff when we was out. And now we're in smartphone land, and now everything has changed. So is my thing is it's very important to you got to be able to gauge it, especially with your kids and stuff, because I was never when I was a kid, I never had to I didn't jump on YouTubes and all this stuff, Netflix and all that stuff. We just woke up in the morning and then the cartoons came on at certain times and we watched it. And once when the cartoons was on, it's outside and we playing. I mean, there was countless of times when me and Creative we used to play until 8, 9 o'clock at night until when the lights came on. So I tried to use a little bit a hybrid. I try to use a little bit of how we used to grow up
That boy, man, that boy the bad spot.
Oh no,
Hello?
the hybrid model. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there we go. My headphone thing went out. But
It's the
anyways, I don't know
operator
where I
fault
start.
too. It's not the technology, it's the operator.
Yeah, I guess I don't know you guys where it ended
The
off. The
hybrid
hybrid
model, the
part, yeah,
hybrid
hybrid
model. Let's
model.
bring
Yo,
it
so
back. Come on, old
so
man.
I try to bring the hybrid philosophy, with the kids. I try to make sure I monitor their screen time, but I make sure I push their butts outside and play. Like regardless, go ride your bike. Some physical interaction. I don't care if you go around the corner, go play. We try to time up with sports and stuff like that, just so they can build relationships. But one of the things that most definitely helped us out is our church home. So we make sure we get our kids involved with church and stuff like that, so they'll be able to have that relationship building aspect in their life, so they know what it's about. I believe in life, you can't be successful if you don't know how to interact with people. In order for you to learn that, you have to be face to face. You have to interact with the person, on a regular basis. That's why I'm really, kind of touchy with the whole entire digital thing. You learn how to build relationships and build tougher skin when you interact with more people. So we try to implement that with the kids, so they'll be able to get that. Because it's just my opinion, what I tend to see is, kids are more, you have to handle them with a blanket now because they're more softer now. I believe the cuddling and all that other stuff, I think, is developed with them just being cooped up in the house via smartphones and stuff. So I don't want that for my kids. So I try to balance that stuff out. But it's very difficult, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody got smartphones. When we're at dinner, I'll make sure, put your smartphones down, don't even bring them to the table, just so they can get some type of discipline and structure. Because if at the end of the day, if it ends and it stops with me, if I allow it, then they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I just do my best to try to balance it. But am I like perfect at it? No. There's times I really, drop the ball and I fail at it here and there. But you have to really uh, make it a priority. And the same thing, just with us in general too. With us being on the smartphones and stuff all damn day, it doesn't do anything. If you go into your settings and you look at your time management and you look at all the apps that you use throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year, and you realize, all that time that you BS messing around with this damn phone, you wasted a whole bunch of opportunities to unlock other potential in yourself. We have that mindset like, oh, wish it was my fault, or all these little things that you blame yourself, or it wasn't meant for me type stuff. It's meant for everybody, but you have to be uh, proactive about it. You got to make it a priority. So that's why I really say, messing around with these smartphone devices and stuff, you have to be mindful about it. And at the end of the day, the crazy thing about it is when we play and we spend all this time on X and all this stuff, we're not getting paid for this stuff. Yeah, yeah, I see people getting, $50 here, $1,200, $2,000 here, $1,600 checks, whatever on X, whatever being monetized. But the real person who's getting paid is Elon Musk. So here you are sitting there posting, your whole entire livelihood and wasting all this time getting all these gratifications and stuff with people liking your stuff. Well, at the end of the day, you're feeding Elon. So in my opinion, I try to balance that out, you know, and make sure that the time that I have, that I try to grow as an individual, as a person, and build relationships that way. Over and out.
And the mic drop. I was shocked to see Creative leave when you mentioned Musk. I'm like, ooh, Creative is not going to run from a conversation where we can talk about Musk and everything that he's got going on here, especially this whack monetization program. Go ahead.
Listen. So what happened was my daughter slapped my phone out of my hand and then took it and ran down the hallway. So that's what I'm dealing with right now on daddy duties. But nah, when it comes, yeah, the whole Mustang is a whole nother. I made a post about it. Did I make it? Did I make that post this morning or yesterday? Where because now he's gonna start charging people to live stream. Like you have to be a premium person, premium subscriber to live stream now. So he's using all these tactics to make you guys pay to play, which is gonna cause more division within the ranks of people that who actually deal with each other, network with each other, and things of that nature. Um, well, he'll cause division amongst people that network with each other and play nice with each other for their own personal gain, and cause division amongst those people if you don't if you don't subscribe and stuff like that. For me, I don't care if you got a blue check, don't have a blue check, whatever your subscription level is. I don't care if you using your mama name for your account or whatever the case. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna network with you regardless. I don't care about the whole algorithm stuff. I care about genuine relationships, genuine connections, things like that. Good, better, and different. The way I act on X is the same way I am in person. You going same thing you get in tough talks, and on Thursday night when a popular opinion is the same thing you're gonna get in person. So I don't play those games. It doesn't make any sense to allow somebody to try to manipulate you for their own monetary gain, like Elon Musk is trying to do. I don't subscribe to that kind of stuff. So that stuff doesn't bother me. Unfortunately, there are people that are on X who don't know that these are tactics and games that will fall for it because they genuinely want to build a platform. They genuinely want to build and monetize and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't fall for the shenanigans. That's all I gotta say. Just don't fall for the shenanigans. The best way, if you really want to grow on X, if you really want to genuinely make a nice, serious, solid platform, is slow, but slow is fast. You know what I mean? You got to build it to where it's genuine grassroots kind of thing, and don't listen to the algorithm gurus and all this other stuff because that stuff right there, I mean, he's manipulating the stuff all the time. So, and now it's to the point where, as much as he talks about he manipulates it, it's like, well, what are you really doing behind it? Are you really trying to fix it? Or are you really just trying to fix it to where you have more control over who gets boosted and who doesn't, who gets reach and who doesn't, and really trying to be the controller and the puppeteer behind who makes a platform and who doesn't. So, just at the end of the day, just be genuine, just be true to who you are because you never go wrong. You can always look that person in the mirror and see yourself and be happy with that.
There you go. Mic drop on that one. I agree. Slow and steady. Just take your time. Build whatever you're building, figure it out too, because that takes time. Sometimes you're not sure exactly what your purpose is here on X, and you might have to try different things before you figure that out. And that's part of building your tribe, right? And you figure out the spaces that you want to be in and all that good stuff. But when you try to rush to do it, I think, and follow these janky algo posts that certain people keep repeating again and again, it's kind of played out already. There's just no point there. I think you can just grow and do your own thing. Like, most of us here, because I know most of you have just been building, and it's pretty incredible to see, like the following you're creating, how our spaces have grown, how, we've grown here, our voices in different ways. So that's awesome. And that's what I like to see because I know we're talking about how online friends may not be the best thing, but I mentioned this at the beginning. I recently went to a space and it was about a similar topic about genuine relationships. And I couldn't believe so many people were ranting and raving on, 20-minute rants, complaining, and I just think that's doing the most. Like, I don't want to come here and talk about negativity because ultimately we all have control about the relationships that we choose and the people that we want to spend our time with. So I'd rather focus on those of you, like the ones here today, that, I consider my friends and you guys show up and we add value to each other and we joke around, we have fun. Like, that's what I think X should be about, is just bringing fun into life because we have such busy IRL stuff going on and everyone's got, stress and negativity that they do have to deal with, right? Like, we don't have to deal with it on X, we choose to. But when your boss sucks or your coworkers suck, like, that stuff you have to deal with. Paying the bills, you have to deal with that. So here I really choose to focus on people like you that I know, okay, I'm going to hang out with this person and I'm going to laugh, I'm going to have fun, we're going to joke around, we're going to bring out good in each other. I'm going to learn something new. That's, I think, what we should all be focusing on here on X. And like you said earlier, Ben, setting boundaries is a huge part of that because it's really easy to just be friends with everyone and go into every space and talk to every person. And then you realize, wait a second, what am I getting out of this? What is the point of this? There are some disingenuous people, of course. This is life. So I love that. And I don't really have much more to say on the topic. I think this is awesome. It is summer. I know everyone's got things to do. I don't really try to keep Connect and Chill going for more than an hour. But if anyone has anything else that they'd like to say, I am more than happy to hear it, or anything you'd like to discuss. As always, this is our space.
Connect and Chill Meet and Greet 2025 summer. Putting it out there in the atmosphere.
That would be awesome because 2025 is when I'm talking about a Cali trip. We should make that happen. What do you think, Ben?
Oh, if you're coming here next summer, I'm gonna hold off on moving. So let's do it, Liz. Let's do it. I won't move anytime soon on the condition that you come to California. So let's do it. Liz, before you wrap up and before we let everyone kind of go enjoy their summer, I owe it to you that we did not do more of these the last couple of spaces. So I think we do need some sponsors for this space. So about 20 minutes ago, I got a call from Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And for everyone who has attended the space today, you are guaranteed to receive a complimentary Josh Allen jersey if you go to Fanatics and you put in the promo code Loving Legend List 302. Once again, you put in the promo code Loving Legend List 302. You will get a complimentary Josh Allen jersey of your choice. And then we're going to do it for everyone in the space. This is partly inspired by Keenan and Kel, where Kel loves his orange soda. So here we go. Who loves to connect and chew our online friends legit? Do you make IRL friends anymore? We all love to connect and chew our online friends legit. Do you make IRL friends anymore? Is that true? We do, we do, we do, we do, we do, we do. Woo! And Liz, I did this without the usage of any alcohol involved, so I think that's a new world record that I have not consumed any alcohol while doing these sponsorships. So I think that should be entered into the World Guinness or Guinness World Records. But with that, I do want to hand this back to you.
I'd like to say something too, real quick before we get off. Just judge, your relationships by the fruits that they bear. Uh, don't get caught up with all the distractions and stuff. Everybody's in here important. You're important, no matter what you're going through. Remember, there's always a new day. Use this X platform to, continue to grow relationships, but don't be naive. I believe in purpose. I believe that, the reason why we met, L, Ben, and a couple of people other down there at the bottom, there's a reason why we're all here. We just got to find the purpose and the reason why we're here together and make the best of it.
Yep, I love that. I love that completely. We are here together, and I'm excited to see what each and every one of you create here, right? Whatever that might be, even if, we go slow and steady and it takes us time and we do our thing. I am here to support each of you. And I love that you guys continue to support me and have these fun conversations. And I get to pick your brains because, again, like I think we should be here on X learning from each other, not just mindlessly scrolling. So thank you. Thank you for spending part of your Saturday here at Connect and Chill. I really enjoyed this space. I love the topic. I think it's a good reminder for everyone. So I hope that people really listen to the recording and maybe it helps someone, it strikes a chord with them, or they watch the stream on Audacity and feel that, they learn something about themselves or maybe something they can do to have better mental health, because this can be really taxing on a lot of people's mental health. Social media can be a lot, especially if you allow it to let you become reclusive and avoid real human contact. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. I know it's easy and the pandemic changed things, but go back to normal. It's good. It's good for us, for humans. It's like The Sims, they can have the hugest house, but if they don't have that social meter filled up, they're going crazy. They're miserable. So take care of yourselves. Definitely drink lots and lots of water. Hydrate. It's a heat wave in New York. Californians are used to it, but we're not. So everyone have a good time. Ben, enjoy your water park. Thank you. Thank you so much. And let me just play a song for us to wrap up. I didn't grab this.